The author of the book, Robert Kiyosaki, says he has two fathers, one his own biological father and the second the father of his best friend. Robert's father had a doctorate and taught at the university, and his second father, from whom Robert learned how to become rich, did not even finish high school, and taught himself everything on the job. At first both his parents made enough money, but when they died, one died as the richest man in Hawaii, leaving millions of dollars to his family, and the second left only debts and unpaid taxes to his family. Kiyosaki says that earning money is a science that we are not taught in schools. Schools teach us how to be employees and develop a career. That is why most parents teach similar things to their children and point them in the same direction, which is to become employees. If you come from a middle-class family, then there is a high probability that your parents have taught you to be poor, and this is not because your parents don't love you or don't want you to succeed, it is simply because they themselves are not educated on this subject. They consumed expired information, and when you were born they passed the same expired information to you. Poverty is almost like genetics, it passes from one generation to another. My parents always advised me to study hard, get a diploma, and find a stable job. However, when I started reading books like this one, I realized that I learned more from some of these books than compared to my entire college years. If you also come from a middle-class family and you haven't read Rich Dad Poor Dad, then I highly recommend you read it. I wish someone had recommended it to me when I was 14 or 15 years old, as many things in my life could have been positively different if I had read it earlier. In this video I am going to talk about 7 main ideas from the book. The first idea is about the importance of financial education and understanding the difference between an asset and a liability. Understanding this difference is the most important step to getting rich. Simply put, assets are something that puts money in your pocket, and liabilities are something that takes money out of your pocket. For example, if you have a car and you rent it, thus earning money every month, then it is an asset. But if you have a car, and it takes money out of your pocket every month for repairs, maintenance, and so on, then it is a liability. Example of assets can be rental properties, company stocks, or precious metals, and liabilities are the house you live in, the phone, or the car you drive. Wealthy people focus on increasing their assets, while poor people buy liabilities and focus on their income. Poor people buy the iPhone phone and rich people buy Apple financial stocks, which are an asset and increase in value over time, but the phone loses its value the moment you take them out of the store. Growing assets are like planting a tree. You must nurture it for years until its roots are deep enough to provide shade and bear fruit for your enjoyment. Unfortunately, many people want to get rich quick, but without learning about money, something that is like building a skyscraper with little or no foundation. And that's why you see people who make tons of money, but after a few years, they lose it all. The second idea is this: the rich don't work for money, their money works for them. At a very young age, Robert had his first business partner, who was his schoolmate Mike, and they both worked for the rich father, who taught them lessons to learn how to make money. The first rule they learned was that rich people do not work hard for the money, but it is their money that works hard for them. Rich people use their brains and find ways to make their money work for them 24 hours a day. From a rich person's perspective, every dollar or peso earned becomes a small employee working hard to earn another. On the contrary, the poor and middle class are driven by fear or desire. They fear not being able to pay their bills, so they work even harder, or when they earn more money, their desire kicks in, and they start spending it on responsibilities like nicer cars or bigger houses. Because of these fears and desires, they don't want to invest their money and time in new opportunities. They fear losing their money if they risk it, so they go buy a bigger screen TV, even if they already have one. In comparison, a rich person invests his money no matter what, and even if he loses all the money, he still has an advantage, because at least he learns something, and this knowledge becomes an important asset for his future investments. On the other hand, television loses most of its value after a few months, and you end up losing your money anyway, as well as losing the opportunity to learn something new. The third idea is about understanding taxes, accounting, and the law. According to Kiyosaki, earning a lot of money does not solve problems. Learning how to keep that money after earning it solves problems. If a rich person earns $100,000, then he keeps it all, but if a poor or middle-class person earns $100,000, then he is taxed heavily and loses between 30 and 40%. Kiyosaki explains that in the beginning there were no taxes, and the government created taxes to punish the rich and give them to the poor. The government used the Robin Hood mentality, and the people supported it, but the rich were smart, and they found legal ways to avoid paying taxes. One of the big differences is that the poor and the middle class earn money, then pay taxes on that money, and live on what is left over. The rich, on the other hand, earn money, then spend as much as they can, and pay taxes on what is left over. Fourth idea, the rich invent money. The author says that every person is born with talent, but that talent is suppressed due to debt and fear, as well as commenting that it is not necessarily the intelligent and educated people who get ahead, but the bold and adventurous. People never get ahead financially, even if they have a lot of money, because they can't take advantage of opportunities due to fear and doubt, so most of them sit around waiting for opportunity. The author's idea is that people believe in luck and they should not wait for it. The same goes for money, it must be created. Fifth idea, work to learn, don't work for money. Kiyosaki says his poor father was smart, well educated, and he worked for money because job security was everything to him. His rich father became a millionaire by working to learn, so the author recommends that young people look for jobs where they learn more than they earn, especially in the areas of sales, communication, marketing, accounting, or leadership. During an interview with a journalist, Kiyosaki learned that the journalist had tried hard to become a best-selling author, so he realized that she was a great writer, and that she should stick with it. She told him that she had tried, but no one was interested in her books, and accidentally offended him when he told her to take a sales course to promote herself. She became defensive and replied, "I have a master's degree in English literature, why would I go to school to learn how to be a salesperson? I'm a professional, I went to school to train for a profession so I wouldn't have to be a salesperson. I hate salespeople. All they want is money." She packed up her things, and Robert Kiyosaki gently pointed out that he was the best-selling author, not the best-written author, and this statement only made her even angrier, so the interview ended. The world has many successful and talented people, doctors, lawyers, dentists, and yet they struggle financially, but as a wise business consultant once said, they are one aptitude away from having great wealth. If you were to take your skill set and combine it with financial intelligence, accounting, investment, marketing, or law, you could obtain great wealth. If that journalist had chosen a job in an advertising agency to learn how to sell, she could create great wealth with her writing. The rich father said, "You have to know a little about a lot, but in both school and work, you will be asked to specialize." Those who earn promotions are usually specialists, and yet, the rich father of Robert Kiyosaki always recommended the opposite, so over the years, Robert would work in different areas of his rich father's company where he would attend meetings with lawyers, bankers, and accountants. For the rich father, it was essential that Robert knew all aspects of building an empire. Idea 6, people who avoid failure also avoid success. Most people never win because they are afraid of losing or failing, and if you look at the way humans are designed to learn, we learn by making mistakes, we learn to walk by falling, and if we never fell, we would never walk. The same is true for learning to ride a bicycle, as it is for learning to get rich. Failure is part of the process of success. Kiyosaki says, "I look at my money game the same way I look at my tennis game. I play hard, make mistakes, correct, make more mistakes, correct, and improve. If I lose the game, I reach the net, shake my opponent's hand, smile and say, "See you next Saturday." I personally know many people who have tried to start their own business, but failed, and finally gave up after 3 or 4 failures. It always amazes me how these people expected to succeed, only after a few trials. Giving up after 3 or 4 failures is like starting to go to the gym to get in shape, but after a few days stop going because you don't see any results. If you want to get in shape, you must be consistent, you must change your exercise routine. If it is not effective, you must try a different diet, you must try a different trainer until you find what works for you. Unfortunately, people don't apply the same mentality when it comes to being financially fit. Idea 7. Don't focus on your income, focus on your assets. The long-term wealthy build their asset column first, and only then do the income generated by the asset column, buy their luxuries. The poor and middle class buy luxuries with their own sweat and blood, or in other words, if a rich person wants to buy a luxury car, they don't buy it right away, they first buy assets like business or real estate, and if the assets generate good income, they use it to buy the car. They always focus on the asset first. So far, and I hope you liked it. Thanks for visiting.